Hello everyone, it's GLG and I welcome you to this new video. Today we're going to talk mini PC or mini Mac, since Apple just released the best mini Mac ever and I bought it, and Geekom also has the best mini PC. Windows ever PC. It was time to compare these two mini PCs a little, either the Geekom GT1 Mega or the Mac Mini version M4. So each plays a little in its category, because seeing products in photos is good, but seeing them in video is better. So unleash yourself and discover all our high-tech or smartphone tests. So today, I'm not going to tell you which is the best operating system. Again, maybe at the end we'll see. But we'll mainly see what is the best machine according to, in fact, what you need. So we'll compare the two a little. You will count the points. You will tell me, finally, at the end. Let's discover our Geekom a little. In the box, there will be a 120 watt power supply. We'll have the Geekom, a 120 watt power supply, not bad. There will also be an HDMI cable sent directly to the computer. There will also be a stand or a base that can be mounted either under a desk or also behind your computer screen. In the Mac Mini box, well, the Mac Mini and the power cable, but it's braided. Let's see the size of our two protagonists a bit. Actually, if we take our GT1 Mega, it's slightly larger at 135 by 132 by 44. So it's a mini PC. Once again, it is compact, but there you go. It's a nice machine and all. The Mac Mini, on the other hand, is smaller with 127 by 127 by 50. What's nice is that both have almost the same aluminum finish, and all you see in terms of design, well, we've seen there is one that's a little bigger than the other in terms of windows, but it's a bit thinner. After that, once again, it's really two. Let's discover our two machines and especially our two connectors. Well, at the front of our Geekom, there are two LEDs that will change color based on speed. All that. We'll also have 4 USB 3.2 Gen 2 ports. There you go. So Type A, that's actually quite nice. And the 3.5 jack that will do both in and out to connect headphones or possibly a microphone. On the side, there will also be a power on/off button. The Mac Mini is much simpler. There we will have two USB Type-C 3 ports, so 10 gigabits, not bad at all. So that's good. It's X. Bandwidth new generation, and we will also have a headphone jack that also functions as a microphone, that's all. The button, however, is underneath, which isn't very important because you won't be turning it off and on every night, but it is underneath. So 4 USB ports for the Geekom and 2 USB Type-C ports for the Mac Mini. Again, there are two schools of thought. So let's go back to our Geekom. To the left of our Geekom, there's an SD card reader. It's very handy, you know, I always have cameras and everything that use SD cards, it's nice. And on the other side, we'll have a casing stock lock, which allows you to put a kind of small padlock if you want to attach it. It's so small that you can quickly put it back in your pocket. There you go. Forgotten. So there's also a little lock on the Mac Mini, nothing once again. Finally, we're not going to bother with all that. Okay, let's go back to the rear, the biggest part. Watch out on the Geekom, hold on tight. A USB 3.2 Gen 2 port, okay. A USB 2 port, okay. 2 USB 4 ports, again, not bad. One of them handles the power supply. We have two RJ45, 2.5 gigabits, 2 HDMI, 1 power socket, okay. And now you might say, why everything double? 2 HDMI is for connecting two screens. 4 inputs, 4 outputs. Screen plus the 2 USB Type-C ports, one possibly for power, that's not bad. Why 2 RJ45 ports? Well, they give us double the Superman performance. Our system ensures redundancy, load balancing, increased bandwidth. Benefit from a faster and more reliable connection. In fact, you set up 2 networks, not the same connection twice, but if you have 2 internet service providers, you connect both. And so if you are gaming or need an ultra stable connection, this will allow you to switch from one to the other and slightly increase the bandwidth as well. That's good. Well, Mac Mini, sleek, right? Will also have additional power connections. So it's good that the power supply is directly 220 through the cable. That's not bad. 1 RJ45, a single HDMI, and 3 USB ports. Still USB Type-C, 4 Thunderbolt 4. So there, you're going to tell me, yes, but then there are no USBs. However, well, you saw there are 2 in the front plus 3 in the back, which is not bad. The RJ45, there's only 1, but on the other one, well, there are 2. So I feel like saying, yeah, but on the Mac Mini there, the RJ45 port is 10 gigabits. So yes, but as an option, it's 145 euros more. There you go. Otherwise, already put 2.5 gigas. It's not bad. So 4 USB ports for the Geekom and 2 USB Type-C ports for the Mac Mini. Again, it's 2 schools. Okay, that's normal instead of 3 for the other. Okay, that's good. On the other hand, we have Wi-Fi 7 and Bluetooth 5.4. It's still somewhat of the latest generation. Surprisingly, on the Mac Mini, while there are 2 at the front and 3 at the back, it's good. We only have Wi-Fi 6E, which is already very, very good. And Bluetooth 5.3, not bad. well, the gigabit is noted. It's true. So the port, it's normal. If you want the 10 gigabit option, it's 125 euros more. There isn't small profile inside our Geekom, since you can easily disassemble it to upgrade, of course, or to repair it. You change, you do a bit of what you want. There you have 4 screws under the small pads, you remove them, you have access to 4 other screws, you have access, you put the little things aside, you remove them, and you have access to the beasts inside that will allow you to see. To have a bit of wiggle room, you have 2 RAM sticks, that's good, once again. 32 gigabytes SODIMM DDR5, once again in dual channel. Originally there are 32, and you'll see that it's quite easy. You just need to slightly move the tabs apart and remove them if you ever want to upgrade to 64 gigabytes. Yes, if you find that the 32 gigabytes is not enough, you can easily upgrade. You remove them, go to the store, say, I want the same ones, put them back in, end of story. 64 gigabytes, who needs that? The storage, you've got it, of course, small M.2 2280 PCI Gen 4 SSD. So once again, originally on the small version, you have 1 terabyte, and on the large version, you have 2 terabytes. If you ever say 1 terabyte originally isn't enough, same, you remove it. Once again, you go buy the same one at the same time. It's generic SSD M.2. You can easily clone with software, the disks and all. You can remove it, stuff, there you go. Well, that's quite easy to know that if you want to change, replace, because an SSD M.2 is not eternal, once again. As much as the device may be guaranteed for a long time, as much as this one day you'll have to change it. Well, there, you know that. Well, it's easy. You can already plan by making backups from time to time, and then you remove it, put it back, increase the RAM, change the memory, that's good. Originally 32 gigabytes plus 1 terabyte or 2 terabytes depending on the processor. Apple 16 gigabytes of RAM, but be careful, it's unified RAM, it's very, very high quality RAM. No, but considering the price almost, there you have it, and originally 256 gigabytes, so 256 gigabytes, it's the jungle round, you don't do much. The problem is that updates often in 20, 30 gigabytes, you're going to quickly hit the limit. It's really not enough. Really, even with 10s and whatever, it's hell, there you go. So, well, obviously the version where you can't do anything, can't upgrade, so quickly while staying under warranty, therefore you can potentially add more RAM. If you want to put, instead of the 16 gigabytes of RAM, 24 gigabytes, it will cost you 250 bucks more. If you want 32 gigabytes more, well, in place of your 16 gigabytes, that will cost 500 euros. 500 euros to go from 16 to 32. That's how it is at Apple. When it comes to memory, 256 of SSD, I think it's not enough, that you want at least 512. Likewise, it's 500 bucks. No, it's 250 bucks. It's 250 bucks and 500 bucks for a range. There is no fuss. At the processor level, well, on our Geekom, once again, previously we had a U7, and in fact they removed it. They preferred to switch to a U5, which is more than enough for many of you, really allowing to reduce the price. And for those who really want the best of the best, we also have the U9. Okay, with the U9, we have a U9 185-14 of the 14th generation, 16 cores, 22 threads, 20 gigamega of cache, 5.1 giga of maximum GPU frequency. Consumption 65 watts, that's not bad. And we also have the integrated NPU with AI performance improved up to 8 times. If you want something good, the U5. If you want the best, a U5 Plus. And the U9, it was delivered with 2 terabytes, I remind you. Mac Mini, oh yes, that's the strong point of the Mac Mini. We start with the new M4. Here, similarly, a GPU with 10 cores, with 4 performance cores and 6 high efficiency cores. A GPU with 10 cores, ray tracing and hardware acceleration. The 9th G7 core, 120 gigabytes of memory bandwidth and all. Here we are on one of the latest generations of processors. Apple processor, it's really great. In this case, for doing anything, it's good. We'll see, like from editing to the internet and everything. It's really the best, in my opinion, the best processor on the market. Here, we have something good. And if you want even better, there's a version. I'm not even talking about the prices, otherwise you'll start insulting me. So our geek guy suggests we can set up to 4 screens. Now I have to say that I have 2 screens, and I'm preparing 2 HDMI screens with the cheaper one, with 2K to compare the difference a little. We will talk about it later. So 4 screens, 4K, and width, including 1 screen up to 8K. It's easy. At the back, again, there are 2 HDMI ports. HDMI. I have 2 screens. So I might be a geek, but I'm old school. I still have USB ports and HDMI screens, especially the cheaper ones, they are HDMI. So 2 HDMI screens, there are 2 HDMI ports. I plug them in at the back, it's not bad. And if you want to add more, either you go through USB Type-C that is to say new screens, or a USB Type-C to HDMI. But for me, the two HDMI ports suit me very well, and I don't have an 8K screen because my eagle eyes don't really see the diff. And then I have nothing in 8K, so two screens, let's say, one in full HD and one in 2K. You will see the next video soon when I have received the second screen in 2K. For me, it works very well. Mac Mini up to 3 6K screens. I don't know what to tell you. So yes, it's good. There's a mise à word. It's not bad, okay? And my second screen with my HDMI input, that's right. No, but wait, guys, they all have USB Type-C. Not me. I still have HDMI. So there's not. So either you take a hub and connect it to USB Type-C to add a second HDMI, or there isn't any. You see, 6K resolution, I don't know. I already don't know if we can buy them. Already no 4K screens. Yes, one or two, but there you go. Otherwise, well, a 2K. Again, we're talking about details, but you really need everything expensive. USB Type-C stuff, it'll be fine. No, it's true that it's a bit annoying to have only one HDMI port for 3 screens. You see, but there's USB Type-C thing you don't understand. Yeah, but I get it. But well, I'm not going to buy screens just because. Buy a Mac Mini. No, one of the questions you're going to ask me. Yes, but it's small, but it heats up. We have a good processor. No. No, so regarding if we take the Geekom, we have the IceBlaze 2.0 technology. So does it heat up? A little, of course. Once again, it's still a computer. Does it blow air? Yes, like a laptop. You have laptops that blow air and all, so there you go, we have a fan at the back. When you ask too much of it, it starts blowing, you hear it goes, there you go. It makes a little fan noise and all, it's really not a big deal. Well, with Apple, almost the same thing, once again, except it's even better ventilated, in my opinion. The one that heats up the least is the Mac, thanks to the processor. Thanks to the thickness, thanks to the engineering, thanks to all the gold components inside, given the price. No, there is nothing in gold, don't laugh. But given the price of the RAM, well, $250 for 16 gigabytes there. So it's better ventilated. It's ventilated from the bottom and all that. It heats up much less and everything. It heats up, once again, the thing that stays quite warm. Hot on top and all, but we can say that of the two, the one that heats up the least. But again, these are mini computers, and unless you push them a bit, make them rev up a little, generally, the fan very rarely turns on. So mini computers, for what purpose? If, like me, you use your mini computers somewhat like you use your laptop, since I realize my laptop works well. Internet, office tasks, movies, YouTube, once again, both will have no issue whether on Windows or macOS. The big difference will be if you start working a little. Yes, because one of the questions that will remain unanswered is yes, but the graphics card. In both cases, once again, it's integrated. As much with Mac now, it's all integrated into the M4 thing and all, and apparently there is no gaming, but the gaming performance is outrageous. Especially in terms of graphics, we'll see for editing in my case. Regarding Windows, we are using an Arc graphics card, Intel Arc and so on. So we did benchmarks with Cinebench R23 to have a bit of a reference point. With our Geekom GT1, we reached 15,279, which corresponds a bit to the benchmark we had done with an old card, a 1070. There you go. We had an old 1070, which is good, right? My kid played with it in full HD and everything with a reasonable number of FPS. He tells me it's going very, very well. Once again, we need to keep things in perspective. If you want a gamer thing, get yourself an ultimate gamer thing. If you just want to play a little bit from time to time and you don't have the screen, the thing, the stuff, and you're playing in full HD with a reasonable number of frames per second, not everything at maximum, well, we realize it's going quite well. So 15,279 placed us almost at the top. It's true, it was the max, but well, we gained 400 points. So we're using the integrated card, but it works really well. And one of the big advantages of working under Windows is that when you go to the Windows Store, once again, there are lots of things. There are already plenty of software, lots of free software, and many that are paid, but that you can get for free. A palace of death. There are lots and lots of games, and for most of the small games that we play, especially me, I'm very into Asphalt, and it plays very, very well. There you go. If you want more, there is more. But overall, let's say it's rather not bad. Oh yes, I even tried Forza, the Forza demo and all. So once again, when you start, it says, no, it's not Acer, but do you still want to play? You say, well, yes. And when you play, well, it plays well, there you go. Once again, well, yes, however, the number of frames per second is not maxed out. You're not in 4K, 6K, 8K and all that, but it plays well. And that's what I want from my mini PC. It's playing well, working, doing editing, browsing the internet, office tasks, all that. Regarding our Mac Mini M4, they announce incredible graphics performance, but it's not, you see, Apple games, all that. Well, they appear more and more, but I don't hear much about them beyond that. However, it's clear that their machine, if you want to do editing like me, especially if you want to edit with Final Cut, which is their software. It's incredible. That's where we have incredible performance that we can't match with other machines. It's the processor with the OS and filming with an iPhone. You need to have all the systems, the Apple mouse, the keyboard, you need everything. If you have everything, then it's clear that it's optimal. Yeah, I know. But well, for me, for editing, it's good. As for graphics, when I watch videos, to me, it's the same. There are a lot of things that are relatively identical. There are a lot more games on Windows than on Mac. However, the editing software, Final Cut is still much better than anything else I've tried on. So don't say, yeah, but DaVinci Resolve, Adobe and all that, they're overcomplicated. I only do editing, cutting, stuff like that. So Wondershare would almost be enough for me. Okay, my closing argument, both are AI ready. There you go, there you go. Geekom tells us that thanks to the new generations of processors, you will soon be able to install the AIs locally. The processor can manage, there you go, we'll be able to manage AI locally. Okay, I'm not really into that yet. I'm more of a ChatGPT person. All the AIs I use are online, so for me, it's not too important. As for Apple AI, we're not going to repeat the joke, but there you go. There's not much, and I think most who have all that, even in the backlink, I didn't even check. I use online ChatGPT, 11 Labs, Canva. I only use online applications, so I don't really need it for now. But there you go. The Geekom and AI ready, it's powerful. And Apple, it would become a joke too. So if I were to give you a bit of a personal assessment, for me, which one is the best? Well, actually the best is the best of both worlds, like having a gasoline car and a diesel car. When I want to go online for office work and multimedia, I prefer the Windows environment. Plus, with their Gemini thing that is integrated and all with Chrome and Bing now associated with ChatGPT, there is Bing Creator. There are lots of services that are really connected, integrated, where Windows is getting better and better, and it's really pleasant. Internet, office tasks and all, it's incredible. Windows is still really good. There are lots of tools that are integrated and all now. It's not bad. But if I have to do video editing, however, if I want to work and do editing, the Mac is incredible in terms of power. Power and everything, processing and everything, rendering and everything is really not bad. After that, it's truly the best of both worlds. But then you might say, but couldn't I do both with one and the other? Well, I have both machines. It allows for comparison, but they are really two different environments. If I went back to a Windows software that was, in my opinion, quite efficient and all, I might have a bit less performance, but I think I would achieve the same result. And conversely, I could do office work with my Mac and so on. But there you have it. These are two environments. But he did admit that the new Windows with the Bing, the gadgets, the assistants, the AIs, and lots of plugins you can install has really become quite good. Apple, next year. And you're going to tell me, how much for the machines in the display? Well, at Apple, you won't be disappointed. Apple starts at 699 euros in 16 plus 256. We will have seen that in 256. Never buy a machine in 16 as well. In 16, in unified, you know, let's say it can pass. But in 256, you will quickly regret it. Even if you add tens, things and all, it will never be as practical. If you want 16 plus 512, it's 950 bucks. There you go, including all taxes. And if you want a version, for example, like our base model, the minimal version, which is with 32 plus 1 terabyte, the 32 plus 1 terabyte, 1,608, seriously? 1,699. If you want the version with 2 terabytes, 2,199. Because we're with Apple, memory is like gold, it conducts electricity better, all that, it's another thing entirely. All right, let's get back to Geekom. So Geekom offers us, thanks to their U5, which is already quite good, in the 32 plus 1 terabyte version, they thought there is an opportunity here. It is only 759 euros, including tax, and it's Demilodity. Then plus, well, minus a promo code I have just for you for 15%. That brings us, therefore, the Geekom GT1 with a U5 32. 2 gigabytes of RAM plus 1 terabyte, easily upgradable if you want to go up to 64, all that at 645 euros. That's the Cold War. Come on, if you also want the GT1, once again with the U9, 32 gigabytes plus 2 terabytes, there you have the cream of the crop once again. Here, you really have a machine that's really good. It's 982 euros, but I add to that, well, I especially take off a promo code of 15%, 834 euros. There, 834 euros, there you have a top-notch machine anyway, huh? Really, you see, it's not, once again, it's not an Apple, it's a Windows, but 32 gigabytes plus 2 terabytes with an i9. There you go, less than 1,000 bucks, 834 euros. Yeah, it's really less than 900 bucks. At Apple for that, you only get 512 and the RAM. Minimal RAM. So Mac or Windows is a barstool debate once again. Well, gasoline or diesel, 2-stroke or 4-stroke, single cylinder or twin cylinder. It's always the same thing. It really depends on what you expect from your machine. If you prefer a Windows environment, which is still much more open, you can find a lot more stuff. No. It's clear that Windows remains in that regard. Apple, there's an added value in the product, but they make you pay a fortune for it. That's one way to put it. Plus, with the memory and everything. So personally, I'm very happy to use both, but it's true that somehow in practice, I use my Geekom than my Mac because I still do much less Mac than office work, internet and everything. No, but it's true that the first Windows, having been a Windows guru in the years, I don't know when, for the Vista era when it was complicated, you have to admit that it has really evolved and the integration of AI with ChatGPT has been well done. At Apple, there is, well, we'll see that next year when they make us something that which can be useful. Or if they put ChatGPT in it, then it's good. There you go. But in that case, it serves no purpose. Come on, tell me in the comments which machine you would like the most. Are you more Team Geekom or Team Apple? Put all that directly in the comments. Plus, it's particularly, quote, yeah, I can't wait to read you. Give me the arguments, not the stupid arguments. Yeah, give me, once again, it's a bar pillar fight, but there you go. So let me know in the comments if, as all thumbs are allowed, you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, give it a thumbs down. That's up to you. Don't forget to subscribe and click on the bell to not miss my next video, as there are some quite cool products. And it seems that there's a new Geekom coming out with a new generation of processors. They talked to me about it. Here. It's going to be complicated to do. No, it won't be complicated. We're going to test it and you'll see that apparently it's selling well. But otherwise, GT1 Mega, 15% off. There you go. Otherwise, it's up to you to tell me. Have a good day. Bye-bye.